Guys, welcome to date nights. No reservations. We got a packed house, and we lost somebody. Okay, Robert, you gotta go, right?
Yeah, I'm so sorry, but
All
it
right. Well,
was nice to be here.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you having you on.
Guys, I have to go too, so thank you so much.
Oh
Have a great
wow, they dropping like flies, man.
thank you. Have a good night.
All right.
So I think I'm gonna go too. Good luck
Yeah.
to you and your
Sure.
podcast.
Sure.
Julia,
I
you're
thought
my neighbor. Do you want to hang out now and go
Yes,
grab some food?
let's do
Yeah.
it. We're already actually talking,
Yeah,
chatting.
sure, let's do it. Wanna
Yeah.
come home? I already have your Instagram profile. Let's meet up.
Perfect.
Hi guys. So Floyd and this other passport bro named No Reservations had a live stream with a panel of 7 white Brazilian women. But then a few minutes into the live stream, 6 of the 7 women fled. They ran away. They left. They left because they realized they were lied into appearing on the panel, on the show. Because what happened is No Reservations had told them the panel was going to be the women talking about Brazilian culture, Brazilian society, just Brazil in general. But in reality, the show was a dating show. So when these women realized that they were lied to, they fled. They ran away.
All right. We dropping
Guys, I'm
flies.
curious. Is it like a dating panel or something? Are you trying to find someone for Lloyd or?
Nah. This
Yeah,
is
actually, that's a good question. When he invited us to be here, he didn't explain much what we were doing here. He wanted to know about, he said he wanted to know about the culture and stuff. And now I'm reading the comments, and I don't think I understand why I'm here.
Yeah, Floyd, are you interested in some sort of visa or something? Would you like to hang out here or?
Yeah, I do apologize for my comment section. They can be a little rude sometimes, but you know.
I
There's
don't
not
think
much I
they're
can
rude.
do.
Actually, what I think is rude is that nobody actually told us what we were doing here.
Oh no, I did tell you guys at the top of the show we're gonna talk about learning the Brazilian culture.
Yeah, but you're only talking about relationships. And,
Unless you
well,
thought did you think the question was out of line or?
no, I actually thought that your invitation to us was a little bit out of line. We
My
should have known a little bit
invitation.
better about what we were gonna be talking about.
But my
But
invitation was very respectful though. I just said, hey, we're gonna talk about culture,
yeah,
travel.
okay, that's good. Well, I'm just saying that maybe if you want to be even more respectful to like the women you invite to the show, maybe you should tell them that you're bringing like a guy or something that has like a relationship interest,
And I
romantic
think
interest in them.
it's looking like a TLC kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, but you gotta understand that I can't control what people are asking.
But you were asking the questions. I mean,
I was
even if I wasn't reading the comments, like you're only asking about relationship stuff. You didn't tell that was gonna be the focus. You said that it was gonna be about traveling and culture and stuff. But
yeah, that's true.
anyway, okay. Well,
And that No Reservation guy was trying to say that, the show was not really a dating show, but one of the women was like, if it was not a dating show, why is all the questions you ask about relationships? So yeah, the show was a dating show. So, and when the women realized that they were tricked into appearing on a dating show with 2 passport bros, they fled. It tells you one thing, right? Because what it tells you is that the only way these passport bros could get white women off means white women from middle class or upper middle class families, the only way they can get these women to date them, to date passport bros, is by lying to them, by lying to the women, by tricking the women. And it's not even a real date, right? Because their passport bros did not, the passport bros no reservation and Floyd didn't really take these women out on a real date. It's not even a virtual date. It was just a dating show. And the only way they could get them on a dating show, not even on a real date, the only way they can get them on a virtual dating show is by lying to them. It is by lying to the women, by tricking the women. And like I said, this is not even a virtual date, right? It's not, like the virtual date we used to have during the lockdown. This is a dating show, not even the dating show we see on TV where, both the parties are in the same physical location, right? This is a virtual dating show. These women are not in the same physical location as Floyd and no reservation. But still, the only way these passport bros could get white women of means, white women who have their own career, who have their own jobs, those kind of white women. The only way they could, these passport bros could get these white women, the type of white women that were on that show, to be on the show is on a dating show is by lying to the white women, by telling them that the show was going to be a highbrow discussion on culture and society. That is the only way they could get them to be on a virtual. And I want to, stress the virtual part, because these women are not in the same place, in the same house, in the same studio as Floyd and no reservation. These women are in their own houses, in their own homes. But even then, the only way the passport bros could get these women to be on a live stream with this passport bros is by lying to them, by lying to the women. And let me stress the fact that these women are, it's obvious they are from middle or upper middle income class. Those kind of white Brazilian women are not going to be interested in dating passport bros, like Floyd and no reservation. For me, the achievement gap between the women and Floyd was shown when everyone in the panel was introducing themselves. The women said that they were college students, they were fashion designers, they work in hospitality industry. It's whereas Floyd just said he makes videos on YouTube. And that's all he does.
That's it. Is there anything else?
Wait, what do you do for a living?
I'm a psychologist.
Psychologist.
Clinical psychologist. Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
Guest relations. It's a kind of a receptionist, okay, in the big hotel. And I spent my last 6 years travel inside my country. Do jobs like waitress, maybe sale.
I just got back from Melbourne. I work with fashion marketing.
And I work as a market analyst.
Nice.
My name is Floyd Wallace. I run 2 YouTube channels. I run a channel called News Now Omaha that has over 100,000 subscribers. And then I run another channel, a travel channel called Foreign Only.
So it's obvious these women are out of their leagues. And let me say something about no reservation and Floyd. No reservations understand that these women are out of their leagues, out of Floyd's league, out of no reservations league, because he understands that he probably has traveled a lot, and he understands that passport bros can only have access to women from low, income class, working class families, even in the global south. But I think Floyd has this delusion that his American passport gives him access to all kinds of women in in the developing nations that all he has to do is show a Brazilian woman his American passport, and she's going to be rushing to be with him. So on one hand, you have no reservations who understand that these women are out of their league for Floyd and for even for himself for no reservations. And then you have Floyd who believes that because he's an American, these women would be wanting to be with him. And you could see it from the behavior, right? No reservation because he understands that these women will not be willingly wanting to be on a dating show with Floyd. He had to lie to them. But Floyd doesn't understand that his American passport is not valuable to every woman in nations like Brazil, because he doesn't understand that he is under the delusion that these women were probably very happy to be on a dating show with an American. He probably thought that these women are really happy to to date an American, and you could see that from the kind of questions he was asking. He asked the women if they wanted to come to America.
Would you like to travel to the United States at some point in your life?
I already did. I just came back from the United States, but if
he probably thought that would impress the women, but the women, those women, a lot of them had already traveled abroad. Going to America is not something that would impress them. So yeah, but Floyd doesn't know that, right? Because Floyd is convinced that his Americanness is the only thing he has to bring to the table when it comes to dating in Brazil. He doesn't have to do anything else, just show his blue passport, and every woman and any woman he wants would be his. For me, well, the funny part was that when someone asked the women, do they prefer Brazilian men or foreign men?
Tings 08 with the $2 pound asked, do they prefer Brazilians or foreigners, and why? That's a very good question. All right, so Danielle, we'll start with that. We'll start with you. Do you prefer Brazilians or foreigners, and why? Appreciate the super chat, guys.
I prefer Brazilian guys.
I'm gonna agree with Danielle, and I'm gonna say that I prefer Brazilian guys.
Well, there is this quote saying, I hope you'll find someone who speaks your language so you don't have to spend a lifetime translating your soul. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that's true.
Okay. You prefer dating Brazilian guys. Okay. You guys want to ask Maria what she... I'm probably going to guess what she's going to say, but I'm going to ask her the question.
And I think Floyd, no reservations, and their subscribers had probably expected the women to say, oh no, we want foreign men, but all of the women, one by one, they kept saying, no, I prefer Brazilian men. And the funny thing is that they had asked about six of the women, and all six had said, Brazilian men. And by that time, no reservation had already given up. And when the last woman was asked, he's like, oh, I already know the answer. And you could see how defeated he felt, because here he is, with 7 Brazilian women, and all of the women are saying that they choose Brazilian men over foreign men, over American men like him. And what that tells you is that once again, these men try to make it look like they are the preference of every demographic of women, but they are not. They are not, the preference of every women, not even in the poor nations. So it was so funny to watch every one of the women saying that they choose Brazilian men over foreign men. And one of the things that made me laugh about that, that question and answer when they were asking them if they prefer Brazilian or foreign men, is that Danielle said that American men do not have good hygiene.
Appreciate the super chat, guys.
I prefer Brazilian guys, and I'm thinking about how can I say that in a nice way. I don't know, like Brazilian men, they are usually fine and they smell good and they take shower like 3 times a day.
And when she said that, oh my God, I laughed because Floyd has a really bad hygiene, right? But he's been saying that he doesn't have to have good hygiene. He doesn't have to maintain basic good hygiene because Brazilian women do not care about that, because basically he's saying that because he's American, that trumps over his lack of basic hygiene. But Daniels is saying that, no, I don't want to date a man who doesn't shower regularly, who doesn't take good care of himself. So once again, for Floyd, that must, kill him inside, because he had thought all he had to do is just show up as an American and every Brazilian woman would be his. But he's proven wrong, right? Let me say one more thing, because I'm talking a lot about Floyd. This panel, the way, the women fled, the way they left, is being talked about around Passport Bro community. And because this is a truly failure for the Passport Bros, right? And a lot of the Passport Bros are blaming Floyd's subscribers for why the women left, because some of the women were pointing out to the comments that were being left on the live chat by Floyd's subscribers. Floyd's subscribers are sexist, misogynist, just like, all the Passport Bros. And they were leaving truly sexist, truly disgusting, misogynist comments. And some of the women on the panel said that, they were not comfortable with those comments. And, so Passport Bros are blaming blaming Floyd, blaming his subscribers for the women deciding to flee, the women deciding to leave. But I think no reservation has to take as much of the blame as Floyd and Floyd's subscribers, because this no reservation guy tries to pretend like he is some intellectual, he is someone who is high, interested in highbrow conversation, but in reality he's not like that. To be honest, both him and Floyd asked questions, and the kind of questions Floyd asked are normal questions. To be honest, he asked the girls what they like to do in their free time, and he asked them how they learn English, which is normal question. The person who asked misogynist, sexist question was actually no reservation himself, right? The very first question he asked was, have you been flown? And then another question he asked is, are you single, or something like that? And this is the guy who has told these women that the conversation was going to be about culture and society. But here he is asking, the panel whether if they are single or not. Why would you ask, the dating status of a panel if the panel is going to discuss, culture and culture and society? So it tells you the hypocritical, the superficiality of this guy, because he tries to pretend that he is highbrow, he is interested in in intellectual conversation, but and that's why he told these women he was going to talk about culture and society, but in reality that's not the kind of conversation he wants to engage in. He wants to engage into lowbrow conversation about sex and dating and flying out and stuff like that. So yeah, I think he has to take as much, if not more, responsibility for how the panel ended the way it did. My favorite part of that panel was, after the six left and the Daniel girl left, they asked her if she was traditional woman, and she said in a very unequivocal way that she absolutely is not.
Does she consider herself a traditional woman? I do not agree with, like, oh, the woman has to do all the chores from home.
She expects her male partner, to contribute 50-50 to household chores, and the maid, Floyd and No Reservation were like, yeah, that's good, yeah, that's good, yeah, it should be like that. And I'm like, and that once again tells you that this men only have standards for black women. If a black woman had said that, men have to help to do half of the household, they would have claimed that she was emasculating black men. They would have called her masculine. They would have called her all kinds of names. They would have told her they will never date her. They would have told her no man of high value would date her. They would have told her all kinds of stuff, right? They would have called her all kinds of names. But here is a white woman telling them that no, telling them the same thing, that she expects her male partner to contribute 50% to the household, to the upkeeping of the household, and they're like, yeah, that's good. Once again, it tells you that these men only have standards for black women, and to be expected, right? Because in a relationship between a black man and a non-black woman, the non-black women have the upper hand, right? The black men go into these relationships at a disadvantage, so they cannot put any demand on the women. The very fact that the women agree to date these black men, is something that the black men value. So these black men are not going to put any standards on this non-black men, on this non-black women. So, and black women, whenever a black man tells you have to meet this standard or that standard, what you should do is ignore it. Anyways, another thing that was embarrassing in that panel was Floyd. He was laughing ear to ear, smiling ear to ear all throughout the panel. Mind you, he doesn't know these women. He doesn't know he doesn't know their personality. The only reason he was smiling ear to ear from end to from the beginning to end was because he worships white women so much that being in virtual presence of 7 white women is almost like it's like he is in the presence of God. That's why he was smiling from ear to ear. It was so embarrassing to watch. Like, I'm not kidding. From the start to, I think, until the women decided to leave, he was smiling nonstop. And it was so embarrassing. I mean, it's obvious that it's almost like, he was acting the way a girl who had made her celebrity crush would act, a teenage girl. It was so embarrassing, and it shows you how much white worship there is in that, white woman worship there is in that man. He probably thought he had achieved the greatest thing in his life, like being in the virtual presence. I have to keep pointing that out because he was not even in the same room with these women, but even their virtual presence made him feel so important, made him feel like he had achieved the best thing in his life. And I think he probably thought, the other men in the chat probably were jealous of him because he is, he's not even in the same room, like I said, but because he is in virtual proximity to these white women, he probably think the other men were jealous. They probably were, but it was so embarrassing to watch him. He cannot stop smiling. It's like, how they are always saying that, these passport bros or white women always put smile on black men. But it's obvious the reason these white women put smile on these black men is not because, their personality. It is because they are white. Because he was smiling. Floyd was smiling without even knowing who these women were, right? So the smile was not caused by their personality. It is caused because he is in proximity of white women, which is truly it's embarrassing. And that's what white worship does to your brain. You value whiteness so much that the value you assign to yourself, to your black self, actually increases with your proximity to white people. And it's obvious that Floyd probably thought he had achieved his value as a human increased because he was in proximity of 7 white women. Anyways, let me know what you think. Thank you. Bye.